Jordan, why wasn't Mike Williams a good fit with the Jets?
Well, he really had the same role that Allen Lazard had. It was that big body, 50-50 target. Now, Pittsburgh didn't have that. They need that. But I think Aaron Rodgers really trusted Allen, and he never was able to develop that rapport with Mike, who signed late, who tore his ACL last year. They just couldn't develop it, and Key knows more to this than me. But when you have a quarterback you don't have that connection with, I think it impacts the third downs. It impacts what you can call, what routes you can run. Pittsburgh told me 3 weeks ago, we want Mike Williams. What happened was they had to wait for the Devontae Adams trade, and then Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, it was up to him to ultimately pull the trigger, which they did. They got back a 5, which is good compensation, but they needed a guy inside the 20s. They like big bodies. They needed someone that could line up next to George Pickens, next to Freiermuth. They have Calvin Austin, a slot guy. I think also another move they made was Preston Smith. I like that move. You know, sometimes we talk about developing a weakness, but Paul, I would say to you, it's really good to go strength on strength. The Steelers have a great defensive line with Highsmith and with Watt. Well, now let's add Preston Smith, who has 65 career sacks, has been in the playoffs, to that defensive line. Just because, Paul, your midi was so nice doesn't mean you're not working on it.
Exactly. So I like this guy.
Strength on strength.
Where'd y'all find him?
Key know where you
Why
find
you looking like that, Key?
I'm just listening, man. I didn't say anything. You and Joy get so. When I look,
you have a very reactionary look.
Yeah.
You have a very not that look.
No,
not it. That's not it. No. You have a very reactionary look, and you. I think he'd be playing with us.
No, I'm listening to you. I said nothing. There was nothing. He was talking to Paul. All I did was
He
just
said so many words without saying no words.
What is this look?
Paul. Anyway, Jordan,
and then whenever anybody reacts, you're like, "What? I didn't do nothing."
And then he go to a smile like, what?
Why was it me? Trouble. That's what it was. You caused the trouble, and then it was somebody else. Anyway, why do you think he wasn't a good fit with the Jets?
I don't think it wasn't that he wasn't a good fit. I just think that Aaron wasn't playing well. And then once he dropped the ball or got intercepted and versus the Patriots, and Aaron went to the press conference and threw him under the bus, that wasn't the
Patriot game. That was the.
That wasn't the Patriots?
No, that was the. That was.
I think it was the second Pats game. Not the
was
first
it the
one.
second Pats game?
Maybe the second
it was
one.
in.
It was a home game. It was a home game,
but it wasn't the Pats. Was it?
Wasn't Pats lost.
No, it wasn't. He threw a pick against the Pats.
It was 3 weeks ago after the game. He said he was basically supposed to run the route. He didn't run.
Yeah, then they played the Pats.
Versus the Pats.
Was that the Pats?
Maybe.
Maybe it might have been.
All right, somebody, we have a whole team of producers. Somebody can let us know.
Patriots.
He threw so many picks this year, I don't remember.
And when Mike Williams, because remember, he played the very next game versus the Texans. Now he's gone. So the chemistry, once the writing was all on the wall, guys. Once he threw him under the bus after that, I mean, come on, what else? I mean, who does he have chemistry? Who did Aaron Rodgers have chemistry with up until last game?
Garrett.
We finally seen him break Garrett open. The very last game versus Texas, right?
Yeah, one more thing with Pittsburgh, too, with Mike, to that point, is Russell Wilson's a deep ball thrower. He's always been a great deep ball thrower. And that moon ball, now that we call it, that's what Mike Williams is going to be used on. They don't need to give him 7 targets a game. He just needs 3 targets to be a threat in the red zone.
Yeah, and so when you look at it...
It was against the Bills.
Bills. I remember. But if Aaron Rodgers would happen, I already know exactly what Paul's talking about. He getting them mixed up because he threw a pick against the Bills. He screwed Mike Williams in that situation. Then he wound up throwing that pick in New England in the middle of the field with those 3 guys colliding, and he was like, that was on me. Well, yeah, it was on you because what happened with Mike Williams prior to that.
And you have everything that you wanted.
Yeah, and you had to clean it up a little bit.
But point the fingers at anybody.
Here's what I having played the position and being with the quarterbacks and all this, I'm going to break it down real simple what Mike Williams was saying. Mike Williams simply said, without attacking the quarterback, he said, look, I had an ACL injury. I missed time. I didn't get a chance to get a rapport with him. On top of that, I'm basically a rental here with no say at all about anything that's going on in my career with the New York Jets because Aaron Rodgers is the big dog, the king of the hill. No one could challenge Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers could always freeze him out, do certain things to make him look less than what he truly is.
Yeah.
I done played with enough quarterbacks in my career to know that in the end, none of the quarterbacks I played with was bigger and more valuable to the team than I was, and I knew that. So it wasn't going to be no throwing me under the bus. It wasn't going to be none of that. But when you got a guy like Mike Williams who's just trying to just fit in, he becomes a easy pickings for people to say, hey, this guy's not getting it done. He's not getting it done. He didn't do Garrett Wilson that way because Garrett Wilson is still young, and Garrett Wilson has a lot of upside, and Garrett Wilson dropped some balls. He got a few picked off his hand. You didn't see Aaron Rodgers go off on Garrett Wilson. He went off on the guy that pretty much, like you're saying, we got Lazard, who basically is the same guy, where Pittsburgh, they need a 20-and-in guy. He could be that 20-and-in guy for Russell Wilson in the red zone with no problem at all. They already got that in New York.
And they missed out on Ayuk. Pittsburgh was trying to get Ayuk, and they weren't able to get him. And so they were still looking for that extra receiver.
And 100%, and they actually were going to have Mike visit Pittsburgh before he signed with the Jets. This was someone they targeted last offseason. So he hasn't just popped up.
Yeah, and I think that it's the connection piece is obviously something that is very important to Aaron Rodgers specifically.
More than most quarterbacks?
Yeah.
No, that's not.
I don't know that.
I don't want to hear that out of anybody's mouth. I don't want to hear it out of anybody's mouth. I hate when people say that.
What you say?
That Aaron Rodgers is so much more detailed than everybody else.
No, I don't think he is. I think he talks about it and he emphasizes it and he makes it a thing. If it's not working, it's because we don't have this connection.
Right.
And that to me is it.
And it's a bunch of you know what.
Yes, I don't think that. I think the relationships and connection.
But it drives me crazy, Joy.
Connection
drives me crazy,
and loyalty.
It drives me
and the friendship
nuts.
is very important to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh God, it drives me nuts.
Whether I don't think it's more. I think it's more in the sense that he makes it more. I don't think that it is necessary.
That's probably fair.
So maybe it's necessary for him.
It's so unnecessary.
Well, for him, it matters.
Because all you got to do is put me in a position and catch the football, and you pull the trigger. If you throw it anywhere
he doesn't like making
vicinities.
mistakes. That's his thing. He's efficient. He doesn't turn the ball over. It's important to him. Jordan just taking a sip.
It drives me crazy.
Okay, but
because it's important to every quarterback, from Brock Purdy all the way to Caleb Williams, and everybody in between. It's important for you to be in the right positions.
Right.
The right spots, the right proper depth, running the right route to get everybody else open, just in case you don't get the football, and you're the third option. It's important to everything, just important to no damn Aaron Rodgers.
What about how you make me feel?
Don't scream at me, please.
Yep, I got that.
Because even when you think about it, and Garrett Wilson was talking about, it's so difficult because Aaron Rodgers has all these different checks from 50 to 60 to 100 different checks. I'm like, well, hold on, man. First of all, that can't be true. You don't have enough time to go through 50 to 60 to 100 different checks at the line of scrimmage. You only get it's only about 10 pass routes that you run.
Aaron's brain moves at a higher speed.
He's a Stephen Hawking of
It drives me crazy, though.
Aaron Rodgers is in the
cayenne
Matrix.
pepper has.
He got the green pill now.
Yeah. What's that? He's Limitless. You know, it's the cayenne pepper mixed with the ayahuasca.
Good movie.
You know what I mean? You ever seen the movie?
No. Bradley Cooper. His brain now operates.
What's the name of the movie?
Limitless.
Limitless.
Yeah. Robert De Niro. Good, very good. You know what, Key? You should watch it.
It opens you can use 100% of your brain.
Right.
We only use
20%.
20%. Some of us use, some of us use
2.
20%,
I mean, it just
Well,
depends.
Paul has a word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have stuff.
No.
terms for the people that use less of it.
Well, yeah, what is it, dinosaur brains?
DB.
Yeah, DB.
Well, Williams will now get a fresh start in Pittsburgh. How excited should I be about my Steelers?
You should be real excited.
I
Jump up
need
and
more
down.
promotions for the Steelers to go up.
I really should have brought my terrible towel.
More people think you're from Miami than Pittsburgh.
I have one downstairs in my dressing room. But people do think I'm from Miami.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I was born and raised in Pittsburgh. I do have a terrible
You should be
towel.
hyped, though.
I actually wore Pittsburgh colors today.
Yeah.
Steelers, Joy.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking like Michigan colors, but still. Well, the yellow, we'll count the yellow.
Steelers are good, and they're on the right track, too. You got to think about that.
Yes.
They do everything I say. They playing defense. They running the football. They got a quarterback that's going to manage it nice and easy. And they just picked up a big receiver that becomes a viable third down red zone target for them in Russell Wilson with the moon balls. When he wants to go deep, 50-50 balls, Mike Williams has enough speed to get over the top, but he also has a big body to shield somebody. I think you got the coach. I feel amazing. You should really be screaming, I want to see Kansas City. I want to see you, Patrick. You should really be saying that right now.
Okay.
Well, first they got to win the division. Because
of course.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
But I think Pittsburgh's ahead of the schedule where they thought they would be.
Mm-hmm. But they never been behind schedule. They've been behind schedule because of the quarterbacks.
But I got to admit, I was wrong, because I thought taking Fields out
You
was
and
the
I
wrong
and
move.
everybody else.
I didn't love the move, but it's obviously a small sample size.
But you're not at practice every day.
Sure.
You're not in the film room every day. And so we can only watch
and you don't
television.
value championship experience.
Yeah, that's
Clearly.
No, I just thought they were moving. I thought they were good enough offensively. But listen, defensively, they're great. We talked about Preston Smith. I think Mike Tomlin might be the coach of the year.
Yeah, but see, you say defense, right? You just because he's a defensive coach, you think defense. But just in your mind, I want you to go back and just think about the offenses that has always been under Mike Tomlin, even Ben Roethlisberger. Those weren't high-flying, attacking offenses. Yeah, AB would take a little 5-yard hitch to the house, but that was just his explosiveness. But they weren't pushing the ball.
Keep the game close, make a couple big plays when it mattered.
That's it.
And the defense hold.
Always been that way.
Yeah.
But I think to your point, Paul, and maybe you elaborate on championship, that's your DNA, not mine.
Keyshawn got championship DNA
But he's
too.
talking to you right now. Don't leave me out of it.
All right.
Well, I'm saying, though, when you have someone like Russ who may not be at the peak of his powers anymore, but you know he's been to the mountaintop, what does that do?
Well, me and I've been to the mountaintop. Sometimes when you're at the mountaintop, you have to come down off that mountain to the bottom. And to all these people down here,
He said
show them the way back up. And that's what he's doing.
Show them the way back
That's what he's going to have to do for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, sometimes you have to go back down the mountain because everybody ain't been to the top. So now I'm about to show you how to get there, guys. Just follow my lead.
I also think this was the best situation for Russ to begin with. The team is built very similar to how things were built in Seattle. Obviously,
1,000%.
Seattle had a all-time historic defense, but this is a really, really great defense.
Defense is pretty good.
They run the ball really well. They're extremely well coached. And Russ didn't, unlike Denver, which obviously they had a first-time head coach, which I thought was a terrible choice to begin with. Not him as a coach, but having a first-time head coach in that position. They didn't have the coaching. They had a lot of talent, but no culture or identity. And all of that, rightfully so, because he ran a big check and still is run a big check to create the identity and the culture there. And that was a big ask for Russ. It would be a big ask for anyone. But when you don't have all those pieces together, it's kind of what we're seeing with the New York Jets. If you are not somebody who can come in and galvanize an entire building of people and be on the same page with a coach that can take you in that direction, he doesn't have to do any of that. Mike Tomlin is a Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame coach. They have an incredible defense. They run the ball well. They've always had talent at receiver
Everywhere.
and know how to elevate receivers. So they're in a great situation.
I pumped my fist and I jumped in.
So let's just start seeing more joy for Pittsburgh from joy.
I'm a very even-keel person.
Because, Schultz, when you say...
As the leader, I can't get too high, I can't get too low, except for when I yell at Key in the middle of the segment.
But when you say his peak of his powers...
That's 2014.
Outside of him running the football with those legs like he did, everything else is the same. It's just an illusion in your mind because of his age.
The running was that read option was a big part of it.
But that's really the only thing that he lacks from his days in Seattle.
Yeah,
And what happened, it became a pull, tuggle. I want to throw the ball down the field like everybody else. I want to throw the ball down. So Pete said, okay, I'll tell you what. We're going to abandon what we normally do, and we're going to try to win your way. And they didn't do it that way. So Pete eventually said, you know what? Nah, let's get out of here. But also what I was pumping my fist for you is because you really study this stuff and pay attention to it.
That's her team.
No, but it's so fascinating to be able to work alongside her and she know what the hell she actually is really talking
As opposed
about.
to...
No. I didn't say anything about that. I didn't say you. I'm just, I go to a lot of places, barbershops, hamburger joints, barbecue places, and people watch.
I am 7-2. I mean,
And they praise her knowledge. And I'm not just saying this because she works with us, but they praise her knowledge of really understanding it. And when I get a chance to really just listen to it, it's good stuff.
Thank you, Keyshawn.
No, it's
Agree.
good
And
stuff. No, it is.
That's genuine. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. You
appreciate that.
don't get that from people like this all the time.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.